This video I will explain DynamoDB Data Modeling best practices. When you use Amazon DynamoDB, you are working with a NoSQL database. Unlike traditional databases that use tables with rows and columns, DynamoDB stores data in more flexible way. Because of this, you need to think carefully about how to model your data so your applications run fast and efficiently. You have to understand access patterns first. In DynamoDB, you don't start by asking, what data do I have? Instead, you ask, how will my application use this data? An access pattern is the way your app reads or writes data. For example, if you are building an e-commerce app, your access patterns could be get all orders for a customer, find details of a single product, show all products in a category. Best practice is design your tables based on the queries you will run most often. You have to use the right keys. Every DynamoDB table needs a primary key to uniquely identify items. There are two types. First one is partition key, like the main identifier. For example, customer ID. Second one is a partition key plus a sort key, a combination. For example, customer ID plus order date. Best practice. You have to choose keys that help you quickly find items without scanning the whole table. You have to avoid too many tables. Unlike traditional databases, where you might create table for everything, in DynamoDB it is better to have fewer tables. Use one main table for related data and organize it smartly with partition and sort keys. This makes queries faster and simpler. You have to use secondary indexes for flexibility. Sometimes you need to search your data in more than one way. Global secondary index lets you query the table using a different key. Local secondary index lets you query with the same partition key but sort differently. Best practice. Add indexes to support alternative queries but don't create too many because they will add cost. You have to denormalize the data when needed. In traditional databases, you might split data into multiple tables and use joins. In DynamoDB, joins are expensive and slow. Instead, you often store related data together, which is called denormalization. For example, instead of having a separate table for customer address, you can store the address inside the customer record. Best practice. Duplicate data if it makes access faster. DynamoDB is designed for this. You have to handle large items with care. DynamoDB has size limits for items. Don't put huge blobs of data directly into DynamoDB. For example, large images or videos. Instead, store those files in Amazon S3 and save only the link or reference in DynamoDB. You have to use write and read capacity wisely. DynamoDB charges based on how much read and write capacity you use. You have to plan your data model to reduce unnecessary reads or writes. For example, instead of reading multiple items one by one, design your keys and indexes so you can fetch all the needed data in one query. You have to think about scalability. DynamoDB is built to scale. By designing good partition keys, your data gets spread evenly across servers. This prevents hot partitions, where one key gets overloaded with traffic. Now we will see the summary. When modeling data in DynamoDB, start with access patterns. How your app will use the data. Choose a smart partition and sort keys. Use one main table instead of many tables. Add secondary indexes for flexible queries. Denormalize data for speed. Store related data together. Store big files in S3, not in DynamoDB. Optimize read and write capacity to save cost. Design for scalability and balanced partitions. These practices help ensure your DynamoDB tables are fast, cost effective, and ready for real world projects.